School is just training the students to comply with capitalism to train them to comply. It was all obedience training. Telling us how to dress, act and to stand in line. Teachers' reason for telling us how to dress is because this is what we will be expecting from our jobs. This was a lecture topic from many educators, is that we need to listen because this is how work will be. The first thing I remember from government class is the teacher telling us how to vote and voting any other way is wrong. The school system needs to change so that students can actually learn something other than to be capitalists or that stupid state test that they stress us over. Edit. I am not talking about the teachers making the rules. I am talking about the system. The experiences with the teachers as they are in the front line. So I can only speak of my experience with the teachers who we interact with. There are some teachers who are bad apples, but I don't put that experience on the schools. When I say the teacher does this is because they are the messenger and the only one students interact with. Another brick in the wall part 2 intensifies. Teacher here, so take my opinion as you want. Education is a privilege and a right that we should be fighting to keep. Education is the only thing that I've seen that gives enough people hope to fight against the system we currently have in place. People who are uneducated usually cannot have a job that is lucrative enough to enjoy the luxury that is time to think and slight security. It's only when someone isn't constantly trapped that they can start to see how broken the system really is and do things to work against it. I personally explain the situation of everything to my students constantly. I also explain that the only way for this to all change is to work together, raise their voices, unionize, etc. My class is environmental science and I always link every issue we have in the world to greed and the elite. I think there are wonderful educators out there spreading wonderful messages to kids and giving them the positive drive they need to fight back. Some teachers suck, of course. But I think education is our last hope, and something we've fought to establish and preserve for years, in getting away from the dystopian nightmare that is our current economy. Schools have rules is because they are full of hundreds of kids with undeveloped brains. Not because teachers are running a tiny tots re-education camp. I used to think the no running in the hall rule was stupid until I watched a kid run straight into a solid tile wall, rendering himself unconscious. Teaching middle school showed me how life-endangeringly dumb kids can be. If they can hurt themselves or someone else with it, they will absolutely go for it. Seriously. Imagine if I dumped several hundred children at your house. I'm betting by the end of the day you would want some rules and structure. I work in elementary school and we don't have dress codes at all. You have to wear clothes of some sort. And if you have PE that day you need closed-toed shoes. But that's it. Standing in line is so that you don't lose children. They wander off pretty easily. If you have multiple classes passing each other, children will see their friends in another class and then go with them and not even realize it. My school focuses on project-based learning and student-driven inquiry. I'm so sad that attacks on public education are not just coming from the right these days. A free public education through high school and college trade school should be a protected human right. Most teachers are trying to do the best we can with the supplies and time that we are given, which is not enough. Now we're being called indoctrinators from both sides of the aisle, though far more frequently from the right. I teach extensive support special ed, so all the indoctrinating I'm doing is trying to help the kids learn how to self-regulate, communicate and learn basic reading, math, writing and functional skills. That's it. That's all. And I get hit, bit and kicked in the process. Indoctrination is way above my pay grade. And if I recall my own primary education correctly, most of my teachers were just tired and overwhelmed. After high school I went to community college and then a public university and learned excellent critical thinking and analysis skills, free of bias. So please, if you think that public schools are there just to make mindless worker robots out of people, I would encourage you to become a public school educator. If you still think we have some muahaha secret plot to control everyone, then be the best damn teacher you can be and change the system. I spend most of my time as a teacher helping students become independent thinkers by introducing them to a wide variety of authors from a wide variety of different backgrounds. I also spend a great deal of time helping them become better writers. Overall, I hope they find value from that, no matter what they choose to do with their lives after they graduate. School is more like prison. In the US, even workers are supposed to have the right to use the bathroom when necessary under OSHA regulations. Schools also give kids homework, indoctrinating them to do unpaid labor. There's also rampant race, gender, socioeconomic class, and disability discrimination in schools. In many ways, schools are indoctrinating students to accept worse workplace standards than what the law currently requires. How would you change how school functions instead of the current system? Every government civics class I've ever had focused on the nuts and bolts of how government works. Here's how the executive, legislative, and judicial branches work. Here's how your state government works. Here's how the local government works. None of my instructors ever told students how they were supposed to vote or that any way but their way was the wrong way. The vast majority of educators, even in the United States, actually care about their students and aren't interested in brainwashing them. They're sure as hell not teaching because of the pay. And, hell, you've got to learn to stand in line at some point of your life. Cut in front of the wrong person at the barbecue shack and you're going to get punched in the mouth. Wait, do you mean schools prepare you for real life? Seriously, I'm not sure what's best. Having a school pump out dreamers that will fail in our current society or teach kids how to move inside a rotten system? Honestly, no idea what's better. I was fortunate to read John Taylor Gatto at a young age and he really explores this in detail. https:/en.wikipedia.org/wiki/John Taylor Gatto. I recall he was kind of part of the libertarian speaker circuit, but he recognizes class as a big reason for schools being designed the way they are. So I don't recall it being to the detriment of his thesis on this topic. The American system is based on a program from the 1890s, where producing minimally educated factory workers was the ultimate goal. We've been slow in changing this. Not to mention the fundamental thing it teaches kids. It gets kids used to the idea of waking up early every day, commuting, spending a lot of time on someone else's schedule, enforced socialization with people you don't like, commuting again, getting home tired, only having a couple of hours of free time, and dreading bedtime when it will start all over again. It trains kids for the 9-to-5 grind. It's funny, but also a bit sad. When you hear kids say they can't wait to leave school, it's nearly always because of the schedule, having to work, or bullies. Imagine their shock once they get a job. If we took away the requirement for a school to prepare kids for the workplace, you'd end up only having a curriculum that only needed to cover reading, writing, basic maths up to percentages and simplified probability and statistics. Things like science, geography, history, art, etc. could be fun and educational with no need for studying or exams. You'd also free up time in the school day for all those little skills you need as a grown-up. Cooking, cleaning, how to do laundry properly, basic DIY skills. Teacher here. This is stupid. If your government teacher did that, it's illegal. Lots of things about the school system need to change. But this sounds like it was written by a moron who couldn't pass basic skills classes and is now pissed because you can't get anything better than a minimum wage job. Downvote away. Not to mention it's all so constant, compressed and long that mostly anyone's mind and brain just blank out after a while and they become this anxious mess of guilt over, forever, obligations. You're really complaining about having to stand in line in school? We have the kids stand in line so we don't lose them. When you're dealing with 500 plus students under the age of 12. Yeah, we have to have some order. Schools are legally on the hook for the safety and well-being of all registered students. So yes, we have them line up so we can make sure everyone is accounted for and safe. Not everything is some huge conspiracy. Parents need to do their job, so all teachers need to do is teach. Schools are not your damn babysitters. And pizza parties. Grooming is to be appeased with overwork as long as we get some free pizza once in a while. We need a class in high school that talks about employment, your rights, pros and cons of some jobs. Where did you go to school? My experience was nothing like this. I had one teacher in all 4 years of high school who even shared political opinions but did not judge or try to instill those opinions in us. Just shared them and explained them. We were taught how to learn new things and the kind of work that involves. Admittedly, I was in a pretty well-regarded school district, but this still put me in double-take mode.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Eracast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.